Tony, we got someone who's giving a speech over here.
Small speech. I was originally supposed to speak for 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll hold to that. This is really about not being afraid. The biggest problem we have today is fear. You know, Pope John Paul II made a remark to the Wall Street Journal and others after the fall of the Soviet Union that he believed that what was mainly the cause of the fall, among everything else, was people's willingness to speak the truth and not be afraid. And once that happened, the entire communist empire began to crumble. And the biggest problem I think I see in America now is people being afraid. People being afraid to speak the truth. That's why this was originally canceled. People tried to intimidate the organizers of it, and they were forced to, you know, not have the permit and do it. But I decided I'm coming anyway. Your biggest weapon against the forces that are taking away our freedoms is the willingness to speak the truth. After that, everything else comes easy. And, you know, the men that died on this battlefield to start the war, they didn't need to do that either. You know, they could have just gone farming and they would have probably been fine, but it was over principle. And I think that that's what we all need to do. We're not going to be intimidated by the press. We're not going to be intimidated by even Republicans who want to call us names. We're going to be free. And so I think that's the message that we all need to have. There is no greater feeling than to tell the truth and stand up and do it. It just feels so great. I'm glad that you guys came, despite the fact that they tried to cancel this, despite the fact, and the reason they tried to cancel it, by the way, is that they were afraid that there might be talk of social issues, of divisive social issues, of gay marriage, abortion, and things like that the establishment might not like. Well, we're saying too bad. It's all one big problem. The freedoms, the social issues, the financial issues, morality and fiscal policy are one thing. That's what John Adams understood. That's what all of the founding fathers understood, that it's all one problem. And if you take away one, you will not have another. If you have an immoral society, you will be enslaved. You cannot have politicians that are immoral and, you know, are fiscally conservative. It never lasts very long. And that's what the founding fathers told us. That was their message. Their other message, of course, was that you better make sure that you defend your freedoms, because the history of countries like the United States, going back in time, is to go to despotism, because people get soft, people don't stand up, and tyrants take over. That's the natural progression of any democracy, and America has lasted longer than any democracy in the world, and we're going to keep lasting, but it's going to be people like you. So that's why we're here for the Tea Party. I'm so pleased that you guys came, even though they tried to cancel it, even though they tried to throw us off, even though we're standing here because they took away our permit. That doesn't matter. We're still going to fight. And so thank you all. So thank you.
This is the famous quote from Captain Parker. "Stand your ground. Don't fire unless fired upon. But if they mean to have a war, let it begin here." And this is where the Minutemen stood on April 19th, 1775, on this end of the Battle Green.